Hey, DragonCon goes virtual. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we're leaning hard into our virtual 80s Tastic Love this year. And we have one of our musical guests for the convention, longtime fans and comers to our show. We've got Hot Rod and Arcee from the Cybertronic Spree joining us. Bot friends, thank you for joining us.
What's up, Crispy? And what's up, Virtual Dragon Con? Good to not see you. No, it's not good.
No.
But it's nice that you're joining us, and we are excited to be with you.
It's very cool. Arcee, you have been joining this band for a hot minute. Real quick, I just want to get your first impression the first time you came to DragonCon. What was your just sensation of walking into this sprawl of humanity?
This is a really great question. You know, DragonCon was the party that I had always dreamed of. That's all I can say.
It's a very fine point there. It's the party that we've always wanted.
Yep.
And you guys are known for, like, you've got your amazing show. You've done the show the last 2 years. We're going to talk a little bit about the show that you've done this year. We can announce that here. And you guys just hang out with the fans. Like, you as a crew, your whole bot band are just universally loved. You have so much empathy with everyone. Like, what's it like to be able to connect with the fans like immediately like that?
It's fantastic. I mean, we are literally a band that is made of fandom, so it feels right to just kind of spread that love around like a milky, creamy, spready
thing.
Hazelnut.
Yeah.
Hazelnut seems fair. Everyone loves hazelnut, right? No? Okay, I'm being told no. That's not true. Well, what are some of the things, like, you guys are always promoting your work at the band, but, like, I want to kind of get into the heart of the things that you love. I want to know what fandoms y'all might be into when you're not touring. What kind of media have you been ingesting in your time here?
You know what? Actually, this one's kind of relevant to DragonCon. I'm a huge Farscape fan, and I know that you've had some Farscape people down at DragonCon, and somehow, like, my schedule never coincides to see them, but I'm always like, oh! Yes.
You're looking at a very hardcore Gigi Edgley fan over here.
It's true.
That's awesome. Yeah. She is definitely known for partying hard at our show as well. So we got to get y'all to party together. I think that's going to be an epic time through and through there.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Farscape has been an integral part of our convention for, God, how long has the show been around? I mean, forever, it feels like. And yeah, we got to get you into a panel somehow at some point so you can creep in and see the stories. Is that kind of your thing? Are you into the fan Q&As like that?
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, really, DragonCon is like 5 nights of partying for us. And so it'd be nice to party during the day, too, with other like-minded folks.
Right on. Are there a lot of other shows like DragonCon, other conventions? Obviously, we're talking before the pandemic, but, like, have conventions kind of become your wheelhouse beyond the tour that you were going to do this year?
Well, that's kind of what gave us our impetus. Was conventions originally reaching out to the band and saying, hey, come rock us. And we did. And then after that, it's spread like things do. So we kind of moved into the more general realm of rock and roll demigods. That's right.
Emphasis on the demi for now, because we're stuck here, so.
Yeah, so kind of been taken down a peg or two.
Right. I think you're going to achieve that status. At least you already are in this guy's heart over here. So, you guys obviously are creative fans of the genre that you're representing, but, like, you know what it's going to tap into for our heartstrings and things like that, between the designs and from all the bots in your band to the song choices that you have. Like, you know what the crowd's into, and you just, like, take that button, right, and you just spam it hard. What's that feeling like?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because we're a band made up of, well, there's a lot of us. I'm not even bothered counting anymore. But there's a lot of us, and we're all coming from different experiences. And so imagine you made a band with your friends and your enemies. There's a lot of different creative talents flowing through that mix. So we do feel like we, throughout, with that in mind, have, like, our fingers on the pulse of something. And we do love the nostalgia and also the kind of sly commentary that comes with an excellent playlist played live for people who are just feeling that same vibe.
Yeah. There's just something special about being in the same room where all that energy is just tuned in together. You know, as performers, there's an empowering to that. It's its own kind of energon in a way, I would imagine.
Definitely, it's the reason why we exist. It is 25% us, but definitely 7,000% the audience singing along, having a good time, and freaking out. That is kind of just how these things work. I don't think we'd have stuck in the game this long without it.
Yeah, actually, just a few days ago, we celebrated our 7-year anniversary, and our very first song was The Touch when we took the stage. And hey, we hadn't practiced very much back then, but when we sang those first few words and the audience started singing with us, I think you could liken it to seeing a puppy that you've just fallen in love with or something. Yeah, it was something pretty magical.
You're absolutely right, Arcee. It was incredible, and it really kind of galvanized what this band would be, because we were built for one night only, just one. Can you imagine? Yeah, we got the band. I mean, again, who makes bands with their enemies, right? How long is that going to last? So we thought it's a giant disaster. It's never going to work. And then, yeah, you know, strange bedfellows and all. And I think the theme of, you know, Transformers, the movie, is something that we can all kind of relate to, especially in these incredibly relevant times we're living in.
Yeah, there's a lot of lessons there. You know, that's one of those movies that, like, I think there's an entire generation that hates that film. You know, with thanks to the big Optimus moment there at the end. People just immediately come to me and be like, "Oh, that movie just tears my heart out." But yet I watch it over and over and over again.
Is there any other way to enjoy that film? I don't think so. No. It's that shared generational trauma that keeps this band going. And so, yeah, we love it.
If that's not your new tagline, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Oh, it definitely is.
Trauma. How do you guys feel about the new content that we're seeing? We're seeing Transformers kind of come back out in the media. Netflix had the battle or the war for Cybertron, kind of like part 1 of 3, the siege of Cybertron. I'm sure you guys gave that a watch. I'm sure you've talked about it already, but I'm just curious, as fans, what did you think of it?
Well, you're never going to believe this, but we were, like Arcee said, we got together for a little bit of a reunion, and the Unicron was really into it.
Yeah.
We never would expect it. That guy is like a mystery wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a giant planet that will devour your world. It's just incredible. And he's big fans. And you know what? We are too. Honestly, any way that you can find to have fun with a story, that's all right. If it's got something to say, then yeah, I'm all for that.
Tell the story. So you guys aren't necessarily, you know, I think there's some understandable, hate's not the right word, but fatigue for like remakes and reboots and things like that. What's your kind of general feel for, not necessarily for Transformers, but just that across the board, because we're seeing that everywhere right now?
You know what? It's such a great conversation to hit on, because on the one hand, really don't like the whole gatekeeping kind of thing, and really not very solid on canon. And I mean, why would we be?
That's not rock and roll.
No. Yeah. And so in that sense, it really boils down to what's really important about these things, and that is tapping into something that is a shared experience. And that's just what our music does. I mean, that's why a lot of it is covers. Is it something that other people can get into really easily? And then, you know, I feel like the same thing is for, you know, visual media as well. We love Transformers the movie, and we love just the story, as ridiculous and wrong as it was, as cynically constructed and as mundane even. But in a weird way, it exists in such a singular form. It was the mistake that should just never have happened. Who goes and kills their own toy line off?
Right off the start. Yeah.
Right? But in that sense, it's like, here we are, and there's a generation of people who have grown up with that story, and it's meaningful. And I feel like those kinds of stories are rare and precious gems. And I mean, Arcee touched on another one, like Farscape. And yeah, the whole band is just like over the moon with Farscape. Like, we just love that stuff.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
Remakes that you know, sometimes franchises go through periods where there's certain releases that aren't the greatest.
Right.
But if it you know inspires others to try and reclaim the franchise or make it better or keep the story alive somehow, that's all good. That's all good.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we've done a pretty good job with what we're doing just because we've got so many other people who are part of the same shared universe reaching out to us and letting us know that our music really gets to them and that they like what we're doing with this. So it's kind of this wonderful shared experience in that sense.
There's definitely a fun, oh man, you're talking about like the shared universe, like just there's that whole era of 80s cartoons, you know, instrumental. Even today, like we're still seeing not just remakes, but inspired pieces from that era of animation and storytelling. You know, and you kind of touched on RC about like some things might not be good, but you're happy to still have them. Like for example, like I'm a huge Muppets fan, right? This is my friend Randall over here, and you know, I'm friends with some of the Henson people thanks to the convention, and like I hear people complain about, oh, the new Muppets this and new Muppets that. It's not the spirit of it, and I definitely understand what they're saying, but like much like you guys talk about with these other iterations, like I would rather grow up in a world with mediocre Muppets than none at all, because we're still able to introduce them to that original story, much like what you guys are doing.
Definitely. Hey, the Dark Crystal was lit. Right? So yeah, I mean that's it. Is making things and being creative is hard enough. So I feel like it's really easy to sort of slander that kind of thing, but yeah, at the end of the day, you realize I'd much rather be passionate about something than passionate against, because I mean, it's just kind of lame. I don't know.
Yeah, like I want more people at the table sharing the love with a thing. Like the gatekeeping thing is one of my biggest pet peeves, and I say that as, you know, a representative of the convention. Like we want everyone to come in and have a good time. Like I don't need to check your geek ID card, be like, oh, so you like this thing? Well, what about this character? You know, just like I don't care how you come to my fandom. Let's share in the fandom. You know, I think sports fans are kind of the same thing too. You know,
yeah,
definitely. And you know what? I keep this is, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but it's kind of like I recall Kevin Smith saying once, where you know people were hating on Twilight readers and things like that, and he's like, wait, hey, look, those people who are reading these young adult fiction about vampires are going to grow up to be adults who are into vampires, right? Yeah. And that's kind of it. Is like you're really just throwing down these roots that are going to be passed along, and other people are going to remix them and reshape them. And that's something that I'm just excited to be a part of it anyway, and to see what comes next. Yeah.
It's wild to how we just keep going. Like I think there's a market in media in Hollywood. It's like I mentioned, they're kind of pushing the same button. Whereas you guys are doing it as a celebration, they're doing it, I guess, as a pandering kind of sense. And I definitely do want to see more original storytelling. But, you know, a lot of stories pull from the same things. Like there's so many stories that you can tell. And I always love when you stumble across something original. So, you know, we've talked about Farscape, you know, after 20 years of Farscape. But what is something like recent to you that has been like, wow, that's an original creative thing, and I kind of dig that?
Yeah, absolutely.
The new Watchmen.
Right.
HBO's Watchmen. Watchmen.
But that's not original.
Well, but it is. It's an original story, right? But it's kind of like us in that it's kind of taking from someone else's work and then telling its own story, using it as like the backdrop, right?
It was so good.
It was incredible. And you know what? I'm also really enjoying Lovecraft County. So that's super counted, or like super current, I guess. But yeah, it's just using these old forms and these old stories, and even just kind of re-examining something in a new light, and it gives it new meaning, new horror. Such a huge Jordan Peele fan over here. So
God, yes. RC, is there something particular beyond Watchmen and Lovecraft Country that has stood out for you in recent media?
You know what? I am currently making my way through Dark, which I'm making my way through it. I've been busy. I love time travel, so I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen it.
I actually haven't seen it because I've been spending my day watching Bill and Ted movies. Because as soon as I'm done with the call here, I'm going to watch the new Bill and Ted movie after this interview, right? So.
Okay, no word of a lie, Crispy. RC was just asking me if we can watch Bill and Ted after the interview. This is like, it's not a shameless plug.
No.
Keanu does not know us or owe us any money for this, but legitimately, we're just like, you know what? Those guys are excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That movie, like I watched the first two today, and like I'm sitting there, and this is a weird thing to say, like I'm like crying at Excellent Adventure because like I was born in '82, and so like that kind of came out in '88, and like the conversation there of be excellent to each other, like that mantra defined my entire life, kind of deal. There's the don't be a dick, Wheaton's Law, but before that it was like be excellent to each other. I'm sitting there watching that movie today, going, oh man, I have pulled so much from this movie in my entire life. It's wild to be able to revisit stuff like that. So I'm excited for you guys to get in.
Yeah. Let's just watch it right now.
Yeah, okay.
All right. We're going to do that. Before we do that, we're going to kind of hype your show up. Because again, you guys are one of our bands. I don't think a lot of people know this yet, but we are doing musical guests at DragonCon Goes Virtual this year. Give me a quick, what's your show going to be like? We know what to expect when you're in person. It's just a big, epic. Epic. It's epic. How would you describe this virtual experience?
2 words: space madness. Honestly, we are a band that was formed from the crystalline structure of people's cheers. And honestly, without any venues right now and without any live music, it has definitely taken its toll on the band. We've retreated to our shuttle. And yes, we've got some fun performances, and there's all of the things that we like doing in it. But at the same time, it is also, it's just so much film rather than an ephemeral experience. So I think the band was definitely having difficulties coming to terms with that. But it's also, do not miss cinema. If I do say so myself.
Is that for better or worse?
Both. And that's how it should be. It should be, definitely you'll be worse off, but you'll be better for it.
Right. I'm in the camp of I'm happy to have any degree of Cybertronic Spree than no Spree at all, right? So like I'm as a fan, I do lament your tour that we had to drop because of the pandemic. I was going to see you guys in Atlanta, and so we still support you, and I want to kind of find our way to give back. Where can people get this new album that you're going to go on tour about? Like it was Transformers 1986 is the name of the album, right?
Yeah, so our first record, our first studio album is Transformers 1986, and you can pick it up on our Bandcamp. We have it available in wide release now, and there's a little link in the screen there. So that's where you can do it. And we also even have our first original single, Cybertronic Warrior, available up there. And that's a song we actually wrote, which is, kind of new for us because it's hard to write songs with your enemies. But this year, we've made it our mission, since we're locked in the shuttle and there's nowhere for us to go. We're just going to dig deep, and we're coming up with our very own original EP. So this autumn, look out.
I'm really excited to be able to hear that. So we're going to check that out this autumn. Before you guys go, I've got one last question. My friend Randall here has some random questions, and I'm going to ask you guys to pick a color. We've got pink, yellow, green, and orange. Arcee, pick a color.
I'll pick green just to get under your skin.
Oh, well done. It's not easy, All right, so your green card is, this is exciting. What technology excites you the most? This could be something old, modern, or forthcoming.
All right. Don't judge me, but refrigeration and cooling systems.
It's the best, right?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, otherwise y'all are effed.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We need to be able to store our food and our own meat selves as well, right? Here in Atlanta, these summers be sweltering. So yeah. So refrigeration, that is a frigid note to end on. But that's where we're at. Man, Hot Rod Arcee, again, this is the second time we've talked. And personally, again, thank you for your time. I do genuinely love you guys. Your whole crew, your whole collection of robots are definitely one of the highlights of my show. And I can't wait to actually see you guys back at the con, hopefully next year. So we will see you guys soon.
Thanks so much for having us on. It's been so great. And yeah, we just want everyone out there in DragonCon land to know, bring us back for 2021. Get it done, Earth.
We got you back. All right. Thank you, DragonCon.